I remember eventually Taz got fed up of Stone Cold and stuck up for himself, and then he got beaten up by Stone Cold, and then all the other wrestlers obviously were not happy with him getting beaten up because Taz is like obviously one of the ECW, and they all walked out and left him getting beaten up because no one wanted to stay and watch Taz get beaten up. Really,
I
yeah.
mean, one aspect of the whole invasion angle was because Steve Austin was obviously the top wrestler in the Alliance faction. He would often browbeat the other members of that faction and sort of basically tell them to pull their socks up. And that's what gave birth to the dreaded What chant, which worked really well for Steve Austin when he was berating them, but it still carries on to this day, and people use
Oh yeah,
it to disrupt the wrestling program, and I absolutely hate it now. But in that context of that angle, it worked really well.
yeah. Because I remember when who's it? One of the women said, female wrestlers or whatever said, when everyone's saying what, said he gone deaf or something. But now it's even everyone says what. That's gonna be forever. That's never gonna go.
And it's a shame, really. It just feels like it's a way to just hijack the program and just ruin people's enjoyment, really.
It's like everyone's saying Usi now.
That's a bit different, though. I mean, because that's not heckling, is it? It's just that's fan participation. But the watch challenge just feels like heckling, constant heckling, and they use it on baby faces and heels. Anyone, it just.
You can't stop. How can you stop all the fans doing that?
I mean, not quite the same thing, but one of my favorite movies is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it is actually my favorite all-time movie. And that didn't actually do very well to begin with as a movie, but how it became famous was that people would go to the cinema, like I think students, university students, people like that would go along. They shout out rude things at the screen, and that's how in the end it became a cult sensation. Um, but the only thing is, it's kind of difficult for me because I really hate it when people do that. Even at the live shows of Rocky Horror, I've seen live performances. People shout at the performers, and it really annoys me. But I have to acknowledge that that's what made Rocky Horror famous. So I can't moan too much, really.
It's like people. It's like saying when Owen Hart used to come out saying Nugget.
Yeah, but that was different though. That was that he was a heel, and people were heckling him as a heel. They weren't heckling sort of against the product. They were heckling with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
You're right.
he was a heel, and they were treating him as a heel.
Yeah,
So that works in that circumstance.